I'm Richard Dornhart, and this is 7 Minutes of Security. In today's episode, I'm talking to Hugh Perry about how Data3 has utilized Splunk for IT operations.
Right now, events that could affect your business are happening everywhere. Data is happening across devices, systems, and interactions. And you're probably spending too much time managing that data. Wouldn't you rather be putting it to work? Meet Splunk, the Data to Everything platform. It can help you turn data into doing, so you can make IT, security, and every part of your organization work better.
Hi Hugh, can you take me through how Data3 uses Splunk?
Sure. We use it in two main areas. One is IT ops, and historically, that's what we've been using Splunk for. We put it in originally to monitor some applications where the application was failing and we weren't knowing it had failed until the user rang up.
Is there any particular types of applications, or is it just general applications across the business?
These are just general applications across the business, and they were just applications where the normal monitoring tools that came with the operating system just weren't cutting it, weren't giving us the information we needed. So we put Splunk in. And we found very quickly, even in the space of a couple of months, that we could reduce the phone calls about a particular application down by about 90%. The other side of it's in the security space. Obviously, we get a whole lot of data coming in from many, many devices, and then building dashboards and working with security people to interpret that data and become aware of any security problems that there might be.
So we have quite a comprehensive implementation, and we're using it quite a bit, it sounds like. I'm wondering if you could give me some examples on how the system's made you more efficient in your day-to-day role at Data3.
There's a couple of areas that we can look at to answer that question. One is, look, the dashboards that we've built give us a lot of information. And if we look at this one just on the screen now, you can see that it's all green and it tells me that this application, this integration is running as it should. If there's a problem, the colors change. So there's a screen out in their area, the colors change, people see it, people can respond to it, but it also sends us alerts. So no matter where we are, we're aware that there is a problem. I'm also able to look at applications from different locations around the country. And as we look at those applications, I can see how an application is responding for the users in Sydney compared to, for example, how they're responding to the users in Brisbane. And that will tell me that there might be a problem in Sydney. There might be a problem with the network. I can get the network guys involved to have a look. But I also know from experience that as an application degrades, it could be a security issue because there might be some malware that's taking up the network traffic and causing applications to slow down. And so we're able to be very on top of what's going on in their environment rather than waiting to see.
That's a really interesting point that you bring up because, I mean, your main role is around IT operations, but it's kind of expanded a little bit into helping the organization maintain our security posture. I'm wondering if you might have a few other examples of how that interaction with the security team has kind of unfolded with respect to the information that you see on a regular basis.
It's been interesting. We started with silos. As we look at this data now, people are talking, people are having conversations. The whole department is talking about data rather than different teams running off and doing their own little area of specialty. We're coming together, we're having conversations, and we're working out solutions to the problem as a whole team rather than a small group. And that, to me, as a person working in this area, has just been huge. And it's been one of the biggest problems going back a few years, not knowing what other people are doing, both working on the same thing and not aware of it. But now we're pulling things together and just getting a much more cohesive response to what's going on.
So you've broken down some silos, which is fantastic.
Yep.
You've got both the IT operations team and the security team sharing data, which ultimately leads to one of the biggest challenges that organizations have, which is reducing the mean time to detection. it might surprise you to find out that oftentimes it takes up to 200 days.
200 days?
200 days to identify a piece of malware or a particular incident on a network.
Yeah, I mean, in my environment, I'd be horrified if it took us that long to see that there was a problem. I think one of the things from a Splunk perspective is that we know what the dashboards should look like. We know what's normal. And if something is not normal, we start investigating. We don't wait for everything to break. We actually start investigating immediately to see what's changed. It might be legitimate. It might be there's extra users on today. Everyone's decided to work on something at the same time. But there could be a problem. And we'd much rather be aware of the issue and be dealing with it than waiting for things to fall apart completely.
Yeah, so you're truly participating in lowering that statistic at data 3, which is yes. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And it's the rich visibility that the Splunk dashboards and the raw data that you mentioned previously that you gain access to that really helps you to just get immense value out of the solution,
very much
isn't
so.
it?
Yes.
Yeah, well, it's great to see, and it's fantastic to see how the solution has actually brought the IT operations team together and the security team together, which I think we don't see happen in a lot of organizations. And it's great to see how that's happened at Data 3. Well, Hugh, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us today. And for those that would like more information on what we talked about, please don't hesitate to contact your Data 3 rep or a member of our security practice. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video.
Discover what innovators at organizations everywhere already know. That when you bring data to everything, anything is possible. Let's turn data into doing.